Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? Third intermission. We are back, two-man show tonight. Maybe Jason will pop in, but for now, it's Avery, it's Troy here, as we are deep in the Olympic break right now for both the NHL and the PWHL. But there is a lot to get to. Troy, what's going on, sir?
Not too much, just hanging out on a Sunday night. Just finished doing my laundry. Just ate some Burger King real quick. It's family day tomorrow, so I get to spend time with my kids. I'm not sure what we're doing activity wise, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Yeah, just finished a very long week at work. Trying to watch. My boss has been actually pretty lenient, I guess, more or less, in terms of being able to watch games while they're on during my shift. So it's the Olympic break, so we're all just keeping track as a store, rooting Canada on, and hoping they bring home the medal. How
Right?
about you? How's your week been?
It has been busy following along these Olympic Games and doing work. And yeah, that's one thing I don't mind about the fact that these games in Italy is I don't mind having games on all day long from morning, afternoon. I don't mind that. But it's funny seeing people who, when all the events are done at around, say, 5 Eastern, 3 Mountain time, it's funny seeing all the people who are like, oh, so what do I do now with my time? What do I do the rest of the day now? I don't know. I don't know. Watch your kids. I don't know. Be a good parent. Watch your bottom. I don't know.
Get back to work.
Right? Like, oh my goodness. But speaking of these games here, so at time of this taping, the Canada men, they are unbeaten. They hammered France 10-2 in their most recent game, and the Canadian men, Troy, they are rolling once again. Production from guys like Crosby, getting production from Michael Celebrini, Connor McDavid. This Canada men's team is just having their way with so many teams in the tournament right now. They look scary. They look like the scariest team in this tournament, where you compare it to teams like Sweden and the USA, who had scares from teams like Italy and Denmark.
Yes, absolutely. So that Big Mac line, I believe that's what they're being called. McKinnon, McDavid, and Macklin Celebrini. They have been torching dudes all tournament. And we have seen a side of McDavid that all of us have been hoping to see. Like he is out there just bodying people, and I love it. He is taking people out to the woodshed and beating them like they owe him money. Like just seeing some of these highlight reels of him clapping dudes in the corner behind the board. You know, I don't know if this is a real quote or not because there's a lot of interesting, not necessarily true things that float around the internet. But the one quote that I heard that he allegedly said was that he's looking at the Olympics to level up. Now, if you're, I know you and I are both familiar with the things that Connor McDavid is capable of.
Mhm.
But if you're a first watcher to the Olympics and watching Connor McDavid just do the damn thing on the ice, like if you've seen him regular season and then watching him dominate in the Olympics, it's like how much more leveling up can you do? And what does that mean for the opposing teams and the goaltender? Like
Yeah.
you are probably just like I don't know what to do. You just gotta wait for it for when it comes. And then you got Nate McKinnon who's just like, I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to win a medal. Like that's the kind of mindset that these guys need to be in for the Olympics and in the NHL. Yes, hockey's fun. It's a great sport. It's fast. It's quick. There's hits. There's goals. There's moves. There's all kinds of things. There's fights. But when it comes to representing your country, no, man, I'm with McKinnon all the way. I'm not here to have no fun. Italy might be nice. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I'm here for that gold medal.
And
And then you got 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, like this kid, like he scored the first penalty shot goal, I think, as a teenager,
Hmm.
Like for the men's Olympic team, like that's impressive, you know. And with Canada being so stacked, like you have the captain Sidney Crosby all the way on the third line. That is some depth when you have arguably the best player on the planet, not named Connor McDavid, playing on your third line. That just goes to show how deep this team is.
Mm.
Um, as for, I'm still not sold on the goaltending thing. I still don't like the fact that Bennington is on this team. Yes, he's put in a good couple performances, but the the numbers the numbers for NHL goalies before the Olympic break, like if you were to pick them at the last minute, it's based on stats. Bennington is not on this team, but that's all right. We're still rolling. We're still first. As of today, the American, well, at least before the United States game started against Germany, the United States, they needed to score basically a carton's worth of eggs worth of goals to leapfrog Canada and take first. But they only scored, what was it, five?
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that. So we need first. And we have to cruise into, well, I wouldn't say cruise because it still wasn't an easy mission, but they made it look easy. They get to cruise into the semis. Um, oh, and there was a fight, well, fight today in that Canada game versus France. Tom Wilson and I forget the gentleman's name, but for those of you who don't know, in the Olympics, fighting to it and is allowed, but it does come with an automatic game misconduct. Um, Further punishment is subject to review by the IIHF. Um, the committee has already said that both the France player and Wilson are not going to face further discipline because it was just more or less a regular hockey play that kind of started that. Now, I'm kind of surprised that Tom Wilson got shook out like a carpet the way he did. So I wouldn't even really call that a fight. Um, but they didn't really hurt us too much. But I wonder if there was running bets in the locker room on who would get the first fighting penalty, and I'm pretty sure most of them would have said Tom. So they're probably spending money going around that room.
Mhm. Yeah, and, Tom Wilson described to Pierre Crinon of Team France. And funny thing on Pierre Crinon is that most French hockey fans don't like the guy because he was suspended in League Magnus, the top division of France hockey. He was suspended for 7 games for punching a goalie in the face. So
With the
most
gloves on?
I'm not sure. I'm not. All I know is like we punch him in the face. I'm not sure what it was gloves on or gloves not. I can't confirm that yet. But French hockey fans didn't want him on the roster. So the French fans like we don't like this guy either.
That's amazing. Nobody likes you, but because you're good, you still gotta get picked for the national team.
Like that is one of the funniest things. But you're right. I think it was Wilson didn't engage at first. Crinon did it first. Gloves are off. But yeah, I was asking around. I was asking people in hockey, when do you recall seeing a fight period in the Olympics? Because we know international hockey is so strict on you can't fight. So I was asking around, like, when did you ever last see an Olympic hockey fight, full on, gloves off? And I'm not gonna answer yet. So I'm trying to do my research into that because that might have been that might have been, if not the first ever, that might have been the first in probably a good 60, 70, 80 years.
Something like that, yeah. Because like fighting, like you'll see the big hits, you'll see somebody catch the death as in the corner,
Mm,
but you're not seeing people, you know, chucking fists at each other because of that. Because they everybody knows, like especially when you're playing over like if in Europe,
mm,
like there's no fighting there. Like it's all about trying to showcase the skill and the speed and the openness and the creativity. Whereas the North American game, it is also about speed and creativity,
Yeah.
but it also allows for brute force to be front and center sometimes too.
Exactly, exactly. So we'll see the men they continue their way over to the quarterfinals, and the women, the Canadian women's team. Now, of course, women have had a good run, but once again, Troy, they ran into the U.S. buzzsaw, and we said on the show last time on the show we mentioned that before how it's gonna be tough to beat the U.S. The American women took it to Team Canada to the tune of a 5-0 victory. And once again, it continues the Americans finding ways to shut down every single bit of Canadian offense, and Canada still having a tough time beating any American goaltender, and having a tough time shutting down America's offensive attack, shutting down. They couldn't shut down Layla Edwards, Abby Murphy. They were struggling the entire game against US Troy.
They did. I did catch a little bit of that game. Um, they it seems like the U.S. has a counter for every situation that Canada finds themselves in. Even like the pre-tournament stuff, like they were getting waxed like a brand new candle. Like they just didn't have any answers really. If it does come down to a Canada U.S. final, which it very well could be, it's going to be tough. I mean, I still have the utmost confidence in our Canadian women, who are most definitely proud to represent themselves, their PWHL teams, and their countries on their back. But I I wouldn't say that I'm overly worried, but I do, it does give pause for thought to try to figure out what they need to do to break this U.S. wall. Um, I NHL coaches are like, oh, you got to do some soul searching and reflection and this and that. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it really comes down to something as deep as that.
Mhm.
It could just be one minor tweak that does it, and I think that's really all it's going to take. Is just one minor tweak somewhere. If it means changing somebody on a line or moving your defenseman around or changing up the matchup pairings where possible. It could work in their favor, honestly, because these are two big powerhouse teams, and no discredit to the Swedes and the Finns. Y'all are terrific hockey players. I don't mean this as no disrespect, but like I think Canada has the chance to take out the U.S. should it come to it. Like I said, it just you might not even have to look too far. It's probably just going to take one minor tweak here and there, maybe an in-game adjustment or two. You're right back in it.
Mhm. Yeah, we're definitely going to see what the plan is for Troy Ryan and his team. As again, they've got to figure out how to get out of this funk, which has been going on for a year against the U.S. Women's hockey semifinals going down tomorrow morning in North America. USA, Sweden, Canada, Switzerland, and for those who don't know, only one time ever has the Olympic final not been Canada USA. 2006 Americans up sorry, 2006 Sweden shocked the Americans to make it to the final where they lost to Canada in the games. Also in Italy, that was the Torino games, in which Canada beat Sweden in the gold medal game. So we'll see how things go there. And going to a story that this is a story that you know what I've never been on the run from police before in my life. Sure, I'm glad I never had to duck the cops. I've never been on the run for 16 years, thankfully. But a man was on the run. A Slo this is a Slovakian man was on the run for 16 years. And what did this man do? For those who don't know, he returned on the run in Italy. There's a warrant on him from Italian prosecutors. So you figured if you're on the run from police, hey, a different country, I wouldn't return to that country ever again, right? You'd figure I would stay away. I wouldn't want to get caught. There's a warrant for my arrest in that nation. So this man returned to watch Slovakia play in the Olympics. And the police tracked him down as a guest of a guest house in the outskirts of Milan and arrested him.
Big old foo boy. What do you mean? Like you were playing the longest game of Where's Waldo and you got bored? What? Bro, like you got busted at a hockey game, man. You were free and clear for 16 years. That's a whole teenage child. You could have birthed and grown a teenage child. 16 years. And man, he popped out at the wrong time. With all this new technology and things like that, I'm surprised the ring doorbell didn't catch him first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
You know, 16 years and you get caught. Wow. Like I wanted. Do you remember when this? I feel like this is kind of like when the Menendez brothers were on that NBA basketball card,
yes
like
on,
days
on
before all that happened.
yes on Mark Jackson's card.
Like, and it reminds me of like a different story about like these European criminals. There was four of them. They were robbing like uh, museums, jewelry places, all kinds of things, and like the cops were stumped for like months and years because they weren't leaving nothing behind. And then they got a tip from somebody one day where it's like, I think the boy them, they're staying up in this house, but like they weren't sure, so they did a stakeout and everything too. They were watching these guys, but like every time the cops try to sneak into the house to try to book them on something, anything, no fingerprints, no nothing anywhere. And then one day they sit down at the table and they go to eat a meal, and the one guy he gets up and he decides to put his thing in the dishwasher. Now, and so the other guys are just like run the dishwasher, and he's like, no, it's one place. Who cares? Like nobody knows where we are. Nobody's gonna find us. They're like, no, dude, run the dishwasher. And he's like, no, screw it. So they leave, go about their business. Stakeout team, they sneak in. They caught them because the one dude didn't run the dishwasher. He got all the prints and everything off the plate, tied everything together, and it's like you were getting away for so long, and it was one minor thing that got you caught. In that case, it was him not running the dishwasher and sent everybody to jail. Like, imagine getting caught because you didn't run your dishwasher, and then you have this guy showing up to a hockey game, thinking everybody forgot about it. And the Italian police are just like, no, 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 we remember you. And because you got on camera, that's the last time you're going to be on camera unless you're taking a mugshot.
uh, it is just, and for those who don't know why he was on the run, he was charged with a string of robberies across several shops in Italy. So he's arrested now, and he has to go back and now serve 11 more months of prison time.
Oh,
Uh,
16 years of freedom to almost a whole year behind bars.
I,
I mean, it
I,
could be worse. It could be getting worse. But
yeah,
still, I would have never given up 16 years of freedom for a hockey game. Go find a TV.
I, exactly. And here's the thing: Slovakia is a nation that's gonna be here. They're gonna be at the games in 2030. You could have waited 4 more years, just gone to France when the games are in France in 4 more years and watch them play then, or go to World Championships. You need to go to the you need to go back to the one country. And you said to yourself, Troy, we're in a more high tech world now. We can be caught even easier. And you go back to the country where you got outstanding warrants on you?
That
I,
is insane.
stupid. I don't know.
Fun little tidbit for our viewers and our listeners. If you did not know, every time you leave your house, you're caught on camera somewhere at least 15 times a day, minimum. So This dude, he must not have been up to speed with how powerful and detrimental today's technology is. But he figured that out the hard way, didn't
Yes. No, he truly did. And for those who don't know, if you've never been to an Olympic Games, a Pan Am Games, a World Cup game, a Super Bowl, a Stanley Cup final, NBA finals, these are events which are considered tier one for security. Tier 1 sporting events, you get checked, you get searched, cameras are on you everywhere at a tier 1 sporting event in the world. They know who you look like, they know what your granny looks like, they know what your auntie looks like. There's no escaping once you walk into a tier 1 sporting event. They know what you look like.
he? Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, all this facial recognition stuff. Yeah, they're gonna catch you super quick.
absolutely, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And going from one story that's wild to another one, and probably the funniest yet somehow quasi West Indian thing ever of all time. For those of you who don't know, the Oshawa Generals in the OHL put out a statement earlier last week saying how fans, we love you, but please come to the game showered. Wash your bottom and make sure you come, put some deodorant on. Y'all stink. And the Generals have been forced to put on an apology towards their fan base, saying, "We didn't sorry. That was rude of us to say y'all stink." And I think that is probably one of the funniest things ever. And you know what, though? I understand and I get it because yes, for the good for just good hygiene, being polite. Yes, you should be coming to the games showered, clean clothes, with some brought up seat to the rink. You should be like that. You a team shouldn't tell you take a shower before coming to the rink, Troy.
Listen, there must have been several levels to this extreme body odor for a team to go out of their way and issue you and you alone a statement telling you to wash your machi, to spread them teeth and use soap. Like, I get it. I get why they had to retract it because it's bad PR.
Mhm.
But I mean, I don't blame them. Some people need to bathe. People are dirty. They stink. At public service announcement. And because I work in retail, I know exactly how the team is feeling. Public service announcement for all of you who don't bathe regularly. Axe deodorant is not a cover up for soap. Stop spraying yourself with Axe deodorant and leaving your yard. You still stink. You smell like a bunch of homeless, matted up, wet cats. Stop it. You are abusing our nostrils. You're making our eyes water. There are things that we wish we could say to you, but we can't because we know we'll lose our job. Please, for the sake of everybody around you, bathe, soap, warm water, washcloth, loofah. Use your hands. Do your legs. Use soap, please. And wash your clothes too. Some of you need to wash your clothes because that's also part of the problem. But for the most part, we can smell you through your clothes. Don't be fooled. Just because it's cold outside doesn't mean the cold is going to mask your stink. We can see the stink lines coming from your jacket. Bathe, wash, all of that. Please save yourself a plethora of embarrassment, whether it's from a company, a team, an individual. Do yourself a favor. Keep up your own proper hygiene. Because this is probably why half of these people look at you sideways when you walk down the street because they can smell you before you reach them. Please wash yourself and don't forget about your legs.
It blows me away that I mean, yeah, and you're right, Troy. But the fact that a team even felt compelled to put that out there, that team staff was so offended, was so concerned that they had to tell the fan base to make sure you practice proper basic standards of life before coming to a game is so that is so obscene. A team needs to even say that. I I don't care what I do. I don't care where I'm going. I make sure I shower. I have something clean on. I make sure I do not smell like the landfill before I leave my house. I make sure of that. Or like I see it before. I've been out and about at restaurants where there's people who came straight from a job, whatever, came from whatever, and out and about. They're at the bar, they're at a dinner, they're at the club, and they didn't have time to take a shower. Okay, well, even wet wipes, something. Do there are many ways to do a little bit of maintenance before you go out to the game, to the club, to a function. Don't come in here smelling like dumpster juice. Don't do it.
It was it was like when we did the live show
Hmm.
and we went over to Blue Moon and the Run Club came in,
Yeah.
the whole lot of them, and all of us were looking around like none of y'all wanted like a shower, washcloth, something first. It's like y'all, your pits are still dripping. What? You said, never mind the shower. I need a beer first. And I know all of you live right there. Just go to your apartment, bathe real quick, and come back.
Yo, yeah, that's a big thing too. If you're in a run club, guarantee you live in one of those apartments where you're paying $4,000 rent. You're nearby. You can go take a quick 1-2 shower because I don't even feel comfortable. That's my thing is to those run clubs, Troy. How do you even feel comfortable relaxing after a run without showering or bathing?
Yeah, like you're just sitting there in your own seasoning, your own used seasoning, and you're basting yourself. And like nose blindness is real, you know. It's crazy.
like like Troy, I cannot imagine. Troy, you are a man with a wife and pickney them. I cannot imagine you coming home after a beer league game and having dinner with the family, going out somewhere, and you didn't shower.
Mm-mm. No. Like if I in the rare instance where I know I have to do something after a game
Mm.
that requires me to be in the public, I will take the precautions necessary to make sure that I don't smell like the rink I just left.
Like,
Like especially my hands because like the leather palms,
mm.
like when it gets all sweaty and nasty and things like that, and
Yeah,
especially like when sometimes when you don't get to air it out properly like that, the smell of wet leather is gross
it
on
is.
the palm of your throat, and people think you can't smell that. Listen, guys, you can. It stinks. Wash your hands. It's like working in a warehouse barehanded and then going for lunch and not washing your hands because you got all the dyes, the cardboard, the dust and the dirt, and then you wonder why it's like, oh, my sandwich is extra crunchy today, and not realizing it's all being
Like,
transferred into your mouth with every bite.
no, it's
Like, I for him to get a letter like that, I want to know what was his diet. Like, what is this man eating? Like, is the only thing he's consuming is dairy products?
who knows? Who knows that? Oh, and see, this is the thing from wrestling, where wrestlers themselves have said at conventions, fans, we love you, but wash.
Yeah, man. Like, even when the wrestlers are telling you you need to bathe, heed their advice. Go bathe.
Like
Damn.
the fact that this is crossing over from other sporting endeavors is is one, it's funny, but two, it's highly embarrassing that multiple sporting entities or multiple athletic endeavors have people saying please actually be a human being, not a zoo animal, and make sure your body. No, no, I'm sorry. Even some zoo animals know how to wash themselves.
What would be interesting though is if this parlayed into some kind of collaboration with some soap companies or body wash companies. As
You know,
long as it's not Axe, stop using Axe. No
you know.
worse. Using Axe.
No, you're right. You're right, Troy. This should be a thing where someone should step up with. You're right. This should be a showering night or a bathing night promotion where yeah, someone partners up with the gens to turn it around. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Like where's Unilever? They're Canadian, aren't they? Jump in on this. You're missing out on a great opportunity here.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Someone should be stepping up and actually turn this into an actual promotion night. You're right. Someone should be, and there. I don't know why someone hasn't yet.
Listen, listen, if Kevin Durant can finally do something about his ashy legs and turn it into a CeraVe collaboration, Unilever can do something with this man too.
Oh my goodness. No, you are not wrong. And oh my gosh. Before we go, Troy, with the pause here, Olympic break, I know you saw the scores halfway point awards, and you took it upon yourself to make up some of your own awards and your own nominees. So I want to hear some of these ones, Troy, for the NHL.
I did. So the scores they did their own, like Avery said, they did their own little mid-season awards, where some of these awards were real and some of them weren't. It was basically just like a reflection of like the quote unquote halfway point of the season. So I watched it. It's 37 minutes on YouTube, but we want you here watching us first before you go over to that. So I made up my own thing, my own little mid-season award. Um, I I'm gonna go through one, two. I'm gonna go through three because I started the fourth one and didn't finish. I only have one name on the fourth one, but we'll revisit this after the trade deadline. We'll do another version and see what happens at the trade deadline. So all of my categories, they are not real awards. These are all just made up. So we'll start with the first one. The first one is called the Ray Emery Award, and this goes to the goalies, or this will go to the goalie who have the potential to be in a scrap with either the other netminder or another player. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the late Ray Emery, he has been noted. Excuse me. He has one of his best career highlights is when he was a member of the Ottawa Senators when he fought the goalie and then he fought another player like 5 seconds later. Probably one of the best goalie things you'll ever see in your life. So, my nominees for the Ray Emery Award: Anthony Stolar, Toronto Maple Leafs. If
Okay.
people be running him, he'd be taking things in his own hand, and not enough guys are standing up for him. Nominee number two, Jordan Binnington, St. Louis Blues. No explanation needed. Third nominee, Jonathan Quick of the New York Rangers. Because
Okay.
Jonathan Quick might be an older statesman now, but if he don't like you in his crease, you in his
True.
way, you poke and you jab at him, you expect to catch a corner of that blocker on the side of your cheek. So if you had to pick between those three, who do you think would be the next one to get into a scrap?
You know what? It's easy to try and say Bennington, but I think it's more likely to say Jonathan Quick. I think Jonathan Quick is a guy where, like you mentioned, older guy, has no time for the BS. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Quick more than Bennington.
All right. So I picked Binnington just because I feel like it's the likeliest to happen,
Mhm.
but because we know that a lot of NHL goalies will they want to try and fight Binnington. That's probably why it won't happen. So yeah, I would definitely say that Quick would be the next one for sure. He's gonna show somebody that old man strength, and they're gonna regret it. All right, so the next category, I have it called the longest goal award. It's given to the goalie next likeliest to score a goal. The nominees that I have is Joey Decord from the Seattle Kraken because you know he be trying every time he gets
Hmm.
close, but people are just like, well, maybe not today. But he's out there. He's trying to get his name in the record book too. Alex Nedeljkovic from the Stars. He has scored a goal basically at every level. So can he do it in an NHL game? And then the third nominee is Jesper Walston of the Minnesota Wild. He's definitely trying for sure. Like especially when he went on that what was it, that 10 game run. Like
Hmm.
he every night he tried to score a goal. He came close. I think he's in a post or two as well. Who of those three? Who do you think would be the next plausible goalie to score a goal, score a goalie goal?
Yeah, these are three great options, but I'm gonna go with the core because he keeps trying it. He has the green light. It's clear the Kraken have said to him, you know what? If we're up 5-1, 4-1 late in the game, try it. Because you're right, Troy. He's gone for it a lot. So I think just for through sheer persistence, he will eventually get one because clear the Kraken gave him the green light to go for it.
I had Joey Decord as my winner as well because I, for the exact same reason you said. Like he's got that green light. Everybody knows he's going to do it. So I mean, like, why not give him the best chance to do it, right? I would love to see it. I mean, I love goalies in general, but I would love to see him pull it off after seeing him so many times and then being asked in the press scrum afterwards. So you almost didn't look and just seeing like the look of disappointment on his face where it's like, oh, I'm so close, I'm so close, I'm so close. You know, as long as he keeps that brave little toaster mindset, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can.
Right?
And all right, yeah, for sure. The next one I have, which for now will be the last one. This one took some time to do because I was doing this during games or like during live games. So like all of this was done with all the last games before the Olympic break. So these stats may or may not have changed, but these are the updated numbers that I've gone with, or at least updated players that I've gone with. This category is called the Duck Duck Goose Award. I chose to call it Duck Duck Goose just because it's. I was watching an episode of The Simpsons the other day, and where Ralph gets invited to Bart's birthday party, and he just keeps running around the circle going duck 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 duck, and doesn't pick Goose. And so Bart says, "Shut up and say Goose, you stupid freak!" And then Ralph runs away. And then he comes back and he's just running in an empty circle going duck, 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 duck. So for me, I went with that because it's given to the player who has the most shots without a goal. Your nominees are Colton Parayko of the St. Louis Blues. The last I checked, he was at like 70 something shots without a goal. Then the next nominee is Matt Grzelcyk from the Chicago Blackhawks. He is like 2 or 3 shots behind Parayko. And then the third nominee is Dylan Samberg from the Winnipeg Jets. He too has a bunch of shots with no goals. Who do you think will break the goose egg first out of those three?
Ooh, that's a great category. Uh Either way, all of these guys are snake bitten, and that's just a mess. But I want to see Pranko, but I'm gonna go Dylan Sandberg. I'm gonna say Sandberg gets it just on I could say like a lazy point shot to flex off somebody and goes through. Pranko has the ability to break out that anytime he wants. But I'm just gonna I don't know. I just feel like Sandberg's gonna get that sooner than Parenko for some reason. For some reason, I think Sandberg's gonna get that off. Yeah, one of those just wild carrying point shots that beat somebody and gets through. And you're right, in 40 games, he has no goals, 9 helpers. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna be the guy to get it for Winnipeg.
I I agree with your logic. I mean, I originally had Pareko just because like he's got this big booming shot. You know, I'm sure a lot of guys are just like, oh no, and just move right.
Mhm.
So you figure at some point it's got to go in. But then when you look at a team like Winnipeg and for the most part how well rounded they are, especially on the back end, how they're getting contributions pretty much every
Mhm.
night.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he breaks the goose egg first.
Mhm.
Um, as for Matt Grzelcyk, well, you know, I think a lot of that offense revolves around the forwards more than the D.
Yeah.
I think Grzelcyk's probably doing his job, focusing on playing D, keep the goals out. Now, he's probably not even worried about scoring goals. He's just like, that's not why I'm here, and that's not why they signed me. I'm not here to score goals. I'm here to prevent them.
That
But
is yeah. See, that is the
yeah,
that is. Go ahead, sure.
yeah, and I feel like, um, yeah, I feel like Sandberg. That's why Sandberg will win it, just because it's a more well-rounded team and their system's a little better.
Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say Grizzly. That mentality. That's the old school. That was the old school Ken Danico mentality of, you know what? Hey, I'm not here. They don't pay me to score goals. They pay me to hit. They pay me to hit people like hit the puck out of my own zone. That's the old Ken Danico. That's the old Ken Danico mentality of, my job is not here to score. That's not my job.
That's not what they pay me to do.
Oh gosh, that's good stuff. And but yeah, no, I'll be that's all for a third intermission this week. We'll try to come back again next week with the fuller room. We'll see you can pop in for the show, and hopefully we're talking about Team Canada being double gold medalists when it comes to men's women's hockey. Because I think we all know we will not hear the end of it if Team USA wins both in hockey, Troy.
Oh, if Team USA wins both, not only are we not going to hear the end of it from the Americans, we're going to hear this nonstop from those idiot Kachuk brothers, and we're going to hear it from that orange Cheeto in a suit. I don't have time or the patience for either one of those three. I don't. And I mean,
Oh.
like, if the Americans beat us, that'll probably be their biggest accomplishment because they're behind in the medal count
Hmm.
at the Olympics. Um, updated list here. The U.S. they're tied for third in terms of total medals. They
Yeah.
have 17, tied with Japan. Norway's just running away with it right now. 12 gold, 7 bronze, 7 silver. But yeah, the states that'll probably be the only thing that they'll be able to have over us is the fact that they beat us in hockey, and and but everybody else is going to look at it like, oh, but you claim you're the greatest country in the world, so how did you lose to Norway in the Olympics? So this will be their crowning moment, and I would love nothing more than to see them wallow in their own tears once again.
Oh goodness. That either way, it's gonna be fun to see how the rest of this tournament goes down before we come back here again with the third intermission podcast. With that being said, for Troy, I'm Avery. Thank you for letting us create space in between your head tops. Until next time, drink your water, mind your business, and we're out of here. Deuces.
Legs.